Vaucluse House in Sydney's eastern suburbs is a living museum cared for by Museums of History New South Wales. To visit is to be immersed in the stories and experiences of the remarkable Wentworth family and the Harbourside estate that shaped much of their lives. In 1827, Vaucluse House became the home of William Charles Wentworth. He lived at Vaucluse House until 1853 with his wife, Sarah, and their 10 children. William and Sarah shared a keen interest in horticulture and followed landscaping fashions of the period, leaving behind an enduring legacy. Today, the house is one of the few surviving colonial houses of Sydney to retain much of its original setting. The surrounding gardens are one of the best examples in Australia of a mid-19th century colonial estate garden and offer fascinating insights into historical plants and garden design. The Vaucluse House Kitchen Garden Rejuvenation project was made possible due to the generous philanthropic support of the F&K D'Angeli Foundation. The foundation values the garden as a place of historical importance, significant for educating current and future generations, as well as a sanctuary for the public to enjoy. The kitchen garden is a showpiece that has been curated to be a major element in the interpretation of the property. To meet curatorial objectives, it requires a high standard of maintenance and presentation. The gardens are highly susceptible to climate change, with increasing frequency of drought, extreme heat, and more recently, continuous rainfall damaging garden beds, pathways, and gravel roads. The conservation of these key elements was critical to preserving the attributes of the site.
The kitchen garden sits on top of its original location and was partially reconstructed in 1999 following detailed archaeological investigation and interrogation of a range of historical evidence. The general layout and form are to original detail, though on a reduced scale. The paths divide the garden beds into a regular grid pattern, which is consistent with mid-19th century layouts. The latest rejuvenation works retained or extended several of these garden beds to suit new plantings. The historic road was resurfaced with a crushed sandstone base, which was compacted to match existing grades and included sediment and erosion controls. The hardwood timber gates have been replaced like for like to ensure improved access to the garden. Through the consistent use of historically documented cultivars, the essence of the kitchen garden has been retained. The choice of trees and vegetables we plant is predominantly determined from letters written by Sarah Wentworth and by cross-referencing lists of seeds and plants available in the mid-19th century. In January 1830, the Australian newspaper reported that in the Vaucluse House garden grows the most delicious fruit in the colony. And in the early 1840s, the kitchen garden produced fruits such as pineapples and melons that won the Wentworth's prizes at annual horticultural shows.
The garden today is planted with fruit and vegetables known to have been available in the colony. For example, jam melons, scarlet runner beans, custard apples, pears, figs, pomegranates and strawberry guavas. Weed-free areas in the bush surrounding the garden were established by removing invasive and inappropriate plants and introducing low-growing native grass species.
Vaucluse House welcomes more than 75,000 public visitors and 4,000 school children every year. Like our other house museums, the estate allows visitors to discover past lives, events and stories in the places where they unfolded. The kitchen garden is a valuable resource that shows how food was produced in the colony, including the importance of seasonal planting and crop rotation. For many children who live in the city, it can be the first time they have seen fruit and vegetables growing.
This project was carefully managed to maintain the heritage values of the site. Balancing the current and future maintenance requirements of our significant places presents challenges for Museums of History New South Wales. The work requires considerable resources and staff time, with careful planning, scheduling and prioritising of tasks to achieve a successful result. Essential conservation of our properties is funded by the state government. However, additional funding is needed for the rejuvenation and interpretation of our places that enable us to enhance visitor experience. The F&K D'Angeli Foundation supports programs and initiatives that engage and educate diverse audiences. By financially supporting the kitchen garden at Vaucluse House, they have revitalised this unique and important site for current and future generations to access, learn from and appreciate the history of New South Wales. Without the Foundation's philanthropic support, this timely and significant work, which has had a tangible impact on how our visitors experience the kitchen garden, would not have been possible.